What's up, everybody? This is BNJ Productions. Jacob Beatles here with Brandon Avery, and today we're doing the Week 1 picks of the NFL. Starting off first is tonight, Thursday night, first game of the season's the Falcons versus the Eagles. Who you got, Brandon?
In this game, although the defending champs are playing a good team, I do have the Falcons. I think the Falcons will come on top on this game.
Yeah, I think the Falcons too. I think this is definitely a proving year for Matt Ryan. I mean, he won the MVP 2 years ago, and the Eagles are hot. They have Nick Foles starting over Carson Wentz because Carson Wentz is still hurt. But, I mean, the Eagles are going to be tough, but I think it's going to be the Falcons in a close game.
Now, if they had Carson Wentz, I might change my mind because he's a little better than Nick.
Don't doubt Nick Foles. Like Brody Black once said, Nick Foles is clutch. Or clutch. Okay, next game you got the Bengals at the Colts. Two teams nobody's really looking at.
Nobody cares about. I got the Bengals.
I don't know. I think the Colts can come back. I mean,
I don't know.
And it's Andrew Luck back. He's coming off of a big win. Or he's coming off of a terrible season. Hurt, probably sat down the whole year. Tried playing catch, and he broke his shoulder off pretty much. But I think he's going to come back this year. He's worked hard in the preseason and the offseason, and I think they're going to get a win over the Bengals.
Nice.
Okay, up next is the Bills and the Ravens. The Bills, they just had Nathan Peterson as the starter, and the Ravens are still with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, the only white Raven. And so who you got here, Brennan?
I got the Ravens here just because the Ravens are a solid, fundamental team. Not anything good, not anything bad. They're just pretty average, and I don't think the Bills are going to be very good this year.
Yeah, I don't think the Bills are going to be very well until they start putting Josh Allen in at quarterback. I'm not a big fan of Peterson, and I think the new wide receivers and John Brown and Michael Crabtree for the Ravens with Joe Flacco, they're going to have a pretty good connection this year. I think so. Then up next is the Buccaneers and the Saints. And Jameis Winston is suspended the first 4 games, so who knows is going to be the starter for the Buccaneers. And then the Saints are overloaded with talent, so I'm pretty sure both of us are going to say the Saints here.
I think the Saints could be a scary good team this year in the NFL.
Yeah, they were last year. Alvin Kamara. Mark Ingram suspended the first 4 games, so big looks for Alvin Kamara there this week. And up next is probably the biggest game in my eyes, and the Texans versus the Patriots.
The Texans are very overrated. I think the Patriots take this. Texans are not going to be good this year like everybody says. They're not.
Well, if you just look at the games where Deshaun Watson was healthy, that proves that they're going to be good. I'm sorry. I'm very high on the Texans this year.
Also overrated.
J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney. Look at the defense, plus Tyrann Mathieu.
J.J. Watt is overrated.
I still think the Patriots are going to win because, I mean, it's Tom Brady, and the Texans got to figure out what they're going to do this year. But the Texans, I think, are going to win the – no, I think they're going to get a wild card and lose to the Jags in the AFC East. Okay, and so next game, the new highly touted 49ers and the Vikings this week. Who do you got?
I have the Vikings this week.
Kirk Cousins, new quarterback for the Vikings.
In the offseason.
They finally have Case Keenum. He played at an elite level last year, but I think Kirk Cousins is going to take him over the top this year. Jimmy Garoppolo for the 49ers is going to be a scary, exciting pick for this game, but I'm going to go with the Vikings too. Okay, up next, the Titans and the Dolphins. 2 AFC East teams, and they're starting out Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill coming back for the Dolphins. Dolphins traded off a lot of key players in Jarvis Landry and a lot of players like that. And Adam Gase has a lot to prove this year. Who do you got?
I have the Dolphins in this game.
Really?
Just because of the fact that Ryan Tannehill is back, and I don't think that they lost very much with Jarvis Landry. I think that they got some good wide receivers back, even though they lost Jarvis Landry.
They did sign Danny Amendola this summer.
And they have Jakeem Grant. I think he's going to be a pretty good wide receiver.
A Texas Tech wide receiver core. But I got to go with the Titans here. Marcus Mariota, he had a little bit of a slow sophomore season, but, I mean, he's going to come back. There's always a rookie quarterback sophomore slump, and I think he's going to come back a lot, and he's going to fight for this win. And Ryan Tannehill's going to show out. Who knows how well he's going to play, and who knows how the receivers are going to fit well together. So then up next is the Jaguars versus the Giants. The Giants are people's sleepers team to win.
This is my game to watch. I think this might be the best game this week.
Saquon Barkley, Odell's back. Who knows what Eli Manning's going to do? He's always a mystery. Especially when he's playing the Patriots, because you know he's going to be good. In the other game, Well, he's his brother. And, I mean, I think the Jaguars are going to put up a really tough fight.
I think the Jaguars are one of the best teams in the NFL this year.
But I think the Giants are going to take them by surprise this game. Because who knows how Saquon Barkley's going to play and how well he's going to show out. And the Jags, I don't think they're going to expect him to be as good as he's going to be. And so I think he's going to take them by surprise, and the Giants are going to win a super close game.
Well, the Jaguars have the best defense in the NFL this year, and I think that it's going to be a really close game, maybe an overtime type game, and I have the Jaguars winning.
Huh. Yeah, next game up is the Steelers versus the Browns, and the Browns, Baker Mayfield, Myles Garrett, a lot of young talent on that team, has Coach Hugh Jackson very excited. They were on Hard Knocks this summer, and really impressive kind of young preseason games, and versus the Steelers, Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell's probably not going to play because of contract holdout, so that leaves a lot of young running backs behind him trying to work it for it. So who do you got here?
I have the Steelers here. I will never say the Browns. I don't think they're going to win a game this year.
I don't know. I think it depends on how Tyrod Taylor plays against the Browns or against the Steelers.
I do like Tyrod Taylor. I don't like Baker Mayfield.
I'm gonna have to go with the Steelers because you can't bet against Antonio Brown and Big Ben here.
Yep.
But I think it could be a really close game. Up next, you got the Chiefs and the Chargers. Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs and Phillip Rivers for the Chargers. Chargers are a very exciting team to watch. Their defense is fierce. Their offense is amazing. Chiefs, people are saying they're going to take a step back because Alex Smith had that amazing year last year. Patrick Mahomes came in that one game and impressed, so they traded off Alex Smith to the Redskins, and Patrick Mahomes is the starter here. How do you think this is going to play out?
I think the Chiefs are going to be a really good team this year. In my mind, I've watched Patrick in college, and I've seen what he can do, and I think Patrick Mahomes is a lot better than Alex Smith.
I think I agree, but I don't think the Chiefs are going to be as good as you think they're going to be, more to the fact that their defense is getting older, the receiver core is very weak outside of Tyreek Hill, and I think Patrick Mahomes is going to do the best that he can do, but sometimes that won't be enough. I think Phillip Rivers and the Chargers are going to have a big win here, and they're going to show that they're going to win the AFC West.
Rivers. Most overrated quarterback.
Up next is the Panthers and the Cowboys. Panthers, Cam Newton, Christian McCaffrey. They signed a new receiver Moore, signed a new receiver Moore coming out of, not sure where that's from, but he's a rookie this year, and he's very exciting. Going to be the number one receiver for him versus the Cowboys. Dak and Zeke trying to prove something, coming back from a kind of disappointing year last year. Who do you got here?
As much as I like the Cowboys, I'm going to bet on the Panthers. I think that the Panthers are going to win this game starting out, but this is two very good teams this year.
And I think the Cowboys' defense is severely underrated. Jalen Smith, Sean Lee, DeMarcus Lawrence, this defense is stacked from head to toe. And I think with Jordan Lewis and Chidobe Awuzie that they're going to put up a fight. And I'm going to say I love the Cowboys, and I think they're going to try and get this win first off because they've always been good week one, even when they're garbage. It's usually always a win versus the Giants, but this year it's going to have to be a one over the Panthers.
Yep.
Okay, and then the next game you got the Washington Redskins versus the Arizona Cardinals, and my boy Christian Kirk on the Cardinals. He's going to do some amazing things along with Larry Fitzgerald. And I think Alex Smith and the Redskins are going to get this win because I think they're kind of a sleeper team. They lost Darius Hughes, but I mean they signed Adrian Peterson. I think he's got something to prove this year, and Alex Smith has something to prove, and I think they're just going to catch the Cardinals off guard and until they figure out the quarterback situation with Josh Allen and Josh Rosen and Sam Bradford, that the Cardinals are going to be a little slow to start off the season, but they're going to kick it off pretty well.
Definitely
either this year or the next year.
Definitely agree.
Okay. Next is the Seahawks versus the Broncos. In my mind, two amazing teams 2 or 3 years ago.
Yep.
I think Russell Wilson's going to have to do everything himself this year. The defense isn't anything. I love Shaquem Griffith, and he's starting this week, but I do not think the defense is any good, and I'm going to pick a kind of a sleeper pick here, and I'm going to say the Broncos win with Case Keenum now and DeMontre Thomas, and just I think they have a better overall team. Russell Wilson is amazing, and if he can carry the Seahawks team, I'd give him the MVP now.
I see the Seahawks as the Cleveland Cavaliers of the NFL because they really just need to blow up their team, and they got one player pretty much carrying the whole weight
Trade
now.
Earl Thomas to the Cowboys.
Yep.
Not that they're going to listen to me, but That's just how I feel. Up next is the Bears versus the Packers, and the Bears are a team that I think are going to be downright amazing and take everybody by surprise, and I think the Packers are going to be even better too. But I think this is the biggest, this division, the NFC. I'm thinking West. They're going to be the best division in football with the Bears, the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings. I think any one of those teams could win the division. But who you got here, Brennan?
I have the Packers here just because I think the Bears are still young. They're still getting new pieces in. The Packers are a solid playoff team already made.
Definitely, because Aaron Rodgers is the best player in the NFL when he's healthy, other than Tom Brady, and he's just getting old. So, I mean, eventually Aaron Rodgers is going to zoom past him in the best player ratings. And I think the Packers are going to win a close one over the Bears, but the Bears are going to shock them early, and the Packers are going to have to come back. Up next, we got the last two night games, and Monday Night Football between the New York Jets and the Detroit Lions. In this game, Sam Darnold is starting. Matthew Stafford's back again. The Lions' offense hasn't been as good since Megatron left and Calvin Johnson. But, I mean, Matthew Stafford always competes, and he always has a pretty good year, even though he's always overlooked. And I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in football.
Yep.
And who knows what Sam Darnold's going to do with the Jets. So I think a safe pick here is the Lions.
Well, I think this game is a big snooze fest. I think these are two of the weaker teams in the NFL. Don't really have much that impresses me every year. Disappointing.
I think the Jets are going to have a chance to be one of the worst teams in football. But if Sam Darnold clicks and plays like he did for the most parts of USC, I think they're going to be somewhat decent.
Yep.
Okay, and then the Lions, I think they have a chance to win the NFC West, and I think it's going to be a tough choice. Up next, the last game, the Los Angeles Rams versus the Oakland Raiders. John Gruden made big news by trading off Khalil Mack to the Bears and basically saying, this is my team. We didn't want to pay him, so it's my team, so I can do what I want. And then you got the Rams, Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, big names. Brandon Cooks comes on the Rams this year. I think they're going to be, in my mind, I think they're the best team in the NFC starting off. So I think the Rams are going to win by a lot, and John Gruden is going to show that he's overpaid.
I think that the Rams can be a wild card sleeper this year. Could be a team that could get the wild card and do great things, knock some big teams off with that wild card. So I have the Rams in this first game against the Raiders.
And that's all the games, but I'm going to ask Brendan here real quick. Which team do you think is going to show off and be the most impressive in this first week matchup?
I really think the Rams. I think the Rams really could be a big team this year. Really do big things.
Yeah.
What is your pick?
I'm going to say the Giants. I think they're going to show everybody that they're back after four-win season last year. Very non-impressive at all with Odell getting gone, but Odell is such a difference maker that he's going to propel these Giants to even a better season. As a Cowboys fan, that hurts my feelings, but I mean, it's always good when a player comes back from a terrible injury that he had last year. But I think they're going to take it to the Jaguars and put up a close game. And I think they're going to impress a lot of people with their performances.
I think the NFL this year is the opposite of the NBA. Whereas the NBA, everybody's getting on one team, building a super team. In the NFL, I see a really spread of balance.
Yeah, and I think people just go and they fight in the NFL, and there's never a clear favorite every year besides Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Never a clear favorite.
He's one of the best players in NFL history, so I think the Patriots are going to do well this year. And I don't know if they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, or if the Jags or I almost said the Browns, the Jags or the Chiefs or someone like that challenges them for the Super Bowl spot. But I think it's going to be a crazy year 41 on Tom Brady's life, and he's getting old. And this is one of his last few chances to contribute to the Patriots and for them to get good wins in the Super Bowl, build up his legacy. And all right, that's all for our Week 1 picks for BNJ Productions. I'm Jacob, this is Brandon, and we'll see you next week.